Okay, so we're going to look at Mike Figueredo of the Humanist Report, talking to Kyle Kylinski of Secular Talk. They're going to be going over TYT, their right-wing pivot. So one thing I got to say is, if you are of the left, you study each person you vote for. You don't vote for Democrats, Republicans, or just Green Party. You look at each person and you vote for their character. You vote for what they stand on. You don't vote just for Democrats. And now, most of the time, you're going to not vote for Democrats if you're on the left. And you would never vote for a prosecutor like Kamala Harris. So I've noticed Mike Figueredo and his so-called leftist mafia, Kyle Kylinski and Crystal Ball, all of them drifting to the right, to the Democratic Party. Because if you're actually left of center, you're not a Democrat. You are an independent or a Green Party or a DSA, PSL, something like that. So as they speak on TYT going right, I see a lot of what they're doing and what they're going to be talking about. So with that being said, let's let them get into it.
So on the subject of independent media, I'm dying to know your thoughts on TYT and Kasparian. So I'm not going to put you in a place where you have to attack them. But from my perspective, I feel like it's sad to see this because we've all been in this space.
So I stopped watching TYT maybe 5 years ago. I saw them drifting right, and I don't mind. I like watching right-wing news and right-wing pundits, but I want you to say you're on the right. Be honest, right? Like, don't say I'm left and then spout right-wing talking points. Just, if you're on the right, be on the right. If you're on the left, be on the left. That's why I don't like CNN and MSNBC so much, is because they spew right-wing talking points, but they act like they're the left-wing. But that's, Democrats aren't right, or Democrats aren't left. Democrats are right-wing, so anybody supporting Democrats are still supporting right-wing politics.
For a while, and we've seen this 100 times. Dave Rubin, Jimmy Dore, what's his name, Russell Brand, where little by little you start to, you pick.
And see, like Jimmy Dore is an odd one. He's not really on the right. That Kurt dude is a little bit odd on the show. He kind of pulls them into bad ideas. But Jimmy Dore is not on the right. I think Jimmy Dore he has like such a open window that most people don't understand it.
Pick one or two issues, and then you start buddying up with the right. And I see it with TYT and Anna Kasparian, and I'm curious what your thoughts on that are.
Before I answer that, I'm curious your thoughts on, do you think it's going to go fully in that direction? Like, do you think it's genuinely going to end up like a Jimmy Dore or a Dave Rubin?
Yes, I do.
Wow.
Again, Jimmy Dore is nowhere near where Dave Rubin is.
I was in that position where you were in, probably with like Joe Rogan, where it's like, no, I think that you should try to reach these people. I think that maybe there's just a genuine agreement. But to me, with time, it's become apparent that like both Cenk and Anna, they just don't want to listen to good faith criticism. And, we all kind of like talked about this in different ways, like on Leftist Mafia, for example. And what really struck me is how, they just disregarded the
and on that so-called leftist mafia, they all supported Kamala Harris, all of them. Like that makes absolutely no sense. With the stroke of her pen, she can put you in jail. With the stroke of her pen, she can get you out of jail. She put parents in jail for truancy. She laughed about putting people in jail for smoking weed when she said she smoked weed to Tupac. Like, she is no better than any Republican.
Arguments that we made, it was not in bad faith, even though they don't want to acknowledge that. It wasn't in bad faith, but they said it was in bad faith. And for me, I think that moment that really like clicked with me, like, no, it's over, was when they went after Emma Vigeland, because Emma Vigeland, they know her more than they know us. I was part of TYT Network, you were part of TYT Network, but we didn't have that close relationship. I never was at TYT studio.
And
I think you were only there a couple of times.
It's funny because like since Emma Vigeland's been on the Majority Report, like Sam Cedar's always been a capitalist, right? And Emma Vigeland, I think she is too, but they're all fighting each other for all of them going right. Like Emma Vigeland is so funny. Like she's just as far right as TYT is.
So like there was that degree of separation between us, but just to see them disregard
It's who they sell out to.
The left. I mean, we all criticize each other. You and I have had debates like in DMs on Twitter about fucking specific healthcare bills and shit like that. But we never I never thought, oh, Kyle's a fucking grifter, and I don't think you thought the same about me. It was just disagreements that we were hashing out. And even I said something about Wolfpack on my show And Cenk had reached out to me privately and said, "Hey, the people at Wolfpack think that you got this wrong." And so I'm like, "Oh shit." I don't remember what it was in particular, but I brought on one of the directors of Wolfpack on my show to correct the record and talk about Wolfpack. And it's like, just, it's one of those things where we're all going to eat shit. We're human beings. We don't have massive, production crews. We kind of just get on camera and we say what we think. And so there are going to be times where we trip on our own dicks. We have to eat shit sometimes, and our peers are the best people to hold us accountable. Like, if some random YouTube comment says, "Hey Mike, fuck you, you said this, you're a terrible person," I'm gonna disregard that. But if Kyle reaches out to me and says, "Hey Mike, I think that you really messed up here," that's when I'm gonna think, "Oh, okay, well, if Kyle's saying this, he's been doing this for a long time. I respect him, he respects me." So that to me is.
So how's that different than the Main Street elitism, right? Like, they're just becoming who they say they against. Like,
why I think TYT might actually just be straight up gone. Because they've tuned out all of the people that were closest to them, that respected them, that they respected, and now it's just right wingers, Glenn Beck, PBD, and it's not a bad thing to go on these shows at all. Going on Temple and whatnot, but it's what you do when you're on these shows, right? Like, you were on PBD and you criticized them, you challenged them.
Yeah, the whole thing was a debate. The whole thing was a debate.
The entire fucking thing was a debate. Mm-hmm. And this was the same criticism that we had with Jimmy Dore when he started going on Tucker Carlson. Like, I don't care that you go on.
One of my biggest criticisms of Kyle is that he doesn't go on more shows. He's a good debater, and although he's not as far left as me, he can bring far right people towards the center and get them on their way left.
Tucker Carlson, I'm not trying to police where you go. You're a grown man. But if I were on Tucker Carlson, I'm going to speak truth to power. I'm going to criticize him for the white supremacy that he's espousing. And I don't see that. I see them going on these shows, attacking the left. And to me, it's like, okay, you know what? Maybe 5 years ago, I would still be more charitable. A year ago, I'd be more charitable. But I feel like we've seen this show so many times. It's a rerun. And I actually think they're less subtle. Like, I think Anna is less subtle than Dave Rubin's grift at this point in time.
It's almost like...
See, I could see both these guys and the people I named earlier, Cristobal and anyone else from the leftist mafia, I could see them in a couple years making a Why I Left the Left video. So I'm glad I'm making these videos now. So if they do, I'm going to come back to this video and put it back out, showing that they're going to come out with one of these Why I Left the Left videos in a couple years.
Like, they had kind of the opposite reaction as me. So, like, in 2016...
That's why your blood sugar stays over 250. It's a completely reversible condition.
Oh, skip the ad, my bad.
It looked to me like they were fully in resistance mode, where it was like,
yeah,
man, we're going to fight on everything. We're going to fight tooth and nail on everything. Fuck Trump in every imaginable way. Even to the point where, there were some areas where I disagree with them on, like, Russiagate type stuff. I was like,
yeah, same.
I don't agree with these particular criticisms that they're making, but it seemed like they were in full-on resistance mode, and they maintained that all the way up, seemingly until recently. And then the mindset, so in the same way as, like, I was trying to, like, find bridges or areas of agreement from 2016 on, and then eventually I realized, shit, this didn't work. And I flipped, and now I'm being super aggressive, and I'm the one that's resisting. And for them, it was
until it came down to Kamala Harris, and then they just not jumped ship. They got on board. They got right on board and got right in line. But that's what fascism is. They talk about Trump's a fascist. But if you only have two options, again, the Jones Plantation, they give you the options. They say you can choose this one or this one. Both suck, both are capitalists, both don't care about you, and they fall in line.
Resist, and then just...
And if you watch these guys, never mentioning the Green Party. They get all mad about the Green Party coming around once every 4 years. But you guys only talk about them once every 4 years. Call Jill Stein. Jill Stein's probably calling them every now and then. Keep bringing the Green Party on for all 4 years, all of time, like you would bring any Democrat on. Bring the people on so they can talk all 4 years, so that they can be out there and we can get some people in the midterms, and then we can get some push in the presidential race, and we can actually have somebody that we want to vote for. Even if they lose, I'd rather vote for, like I do, I vote for the Green Party most of the time. But I'd rather vote for good and actually have a chance for that good to win. But you guys are just going to push the Democratic Party, vote blue no matter who. That is not leftist at all.
Recently, it's almost like they just got tired of doing the we're in the resistance, we're going to fight everything. And now you hear Cenk's big thing is like, we got to unite the populist right and the populist left. And here's this area and that area where we can agree. But what I would say to Cenk in reaction to that is, it's not Like, they're completely and utterly full of shit. Every single one of them. That's even the, and God bless Bernie. I love him. I don't think Bernie's a sellout by any stretch of the imagination, but his strategy on this has been like, I agree with Trump that we should cap credit card interest rates at 10%. And I agree with Elon Musk and Doge that we need to cut the Pentagon. And he's putting that out there. But here's the thing, Bernie. They're not going to cap credit card interest rates at 10%. They're not going to cut the Pentagon. And then when they don't do those things, all of those MAGA accounts are going to pretend like they never supported capping credit card interest rates at 10%. Mm-hmm. They're going to say they never supported cutting the Pentagon, and they're going to go wherever Trump wants them to go, because MAGA is effectively a cult. And so what I would say to Bernie is, I know where your heart is. I know you're trying to do.
The two-party system is effectively a cult. If you're just going to vote Democrat or Republican, and it just goes back and forth like a stupid yo-yo, it doesn't really matter. If Kamala won, it wouldn't matter. Trump would win next time. And then probably a Democrat's going to win next time because Trump won this time. But it just goes back and forth. One's going to crash the economy. They're going to bring it up a little bit, then crash the economy again. It's the same thing over and over.
Do what you think is the right thing and get them in a gotcha and hypocrisy burn them and say, see, they were lying, etc. But they're immune to the hypocrisy burns. And so the real strategy is to upfront say, look, these people are full of shit. They're full of shit. They don't mean a goddamn word of what they say. And I will put in the same category, I'd put, the PBDs of the world and the Tim Pools of the world and the Joe Rogans of the world. Like, do you think Rogan, like when Trump starts doing objectively horrible shit, do you think Rogan is going to be on his show like, man, I really disagree with this? Like he did back in the day. Remember when the child separation policy was happening and Rogan had on Duncan Trussell and he went on like a pro-immigrant rant where he was saying, yeah. And do you think that's going to happen this time around? No. He endorsed the guy who said he wants to do a mass deportation. And if Trump does do a mass deportation, Rogan's either going to say nothing about it or just defend it, right? And so I think that's the point is like, as we've been saying, there are way more allies who are liberals or who are just independents.
Liberals are not allies. Liberals are the worst. Like if you look at Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, they would tell you liberals are the foxes, where a Republican is the wolf. You can see when the wolf shows you his teeth, you know he's growling. When a fox shows you his teeth, sometimes you think he's smiling. He's still growling.
Then there are the populist right. I'm of the belief at this point, the populist right is fake. It's not real.
Yep.
I think the populist right is more misinformed. If you inform them enough, they're going to become the left. But liberals, some are informed and just bad decision makers, where some are uninformed. But the populist right, they're going to be more willing to talk to you. They're going to be more open, and if you can educate them and let them help them understand what populism truly is. Populism, do they want people to have health care? Do you want to help the populace? Yes. Do you want people to have higher wages? Do you want the populace to have more money? Yes. That's just how it works, right? That's what populism is. So we need to educate the populist right, and they'll figure out that they're on the populist left.
Will flip on a dime to go where Trump wants them to go. And by the way, I know I'm right about this because, again, we have the first 4 years. I mean, already Trump has axed Lena Khan. Lena Khan was like the example of, if they mean this and they're actually going to be populist, they will keep Lena Khan at the FTC. And they said, J.D. Vance had said some kind words about Lena Khan. Maybe Trump will keep Lena Khan. And then we learned just last week, he's not keeping her. He's replacing Lena Khan with somebody who says, I want to stop the FTC's war on big business. So how many times do they have to fail this test before we call it for what it is? J.D. Vance pretends like he's a populist. He's not even in favor of raising the minimum wage. He dodged a question on that during the campaign. He's not even in favor of the PRO Act. He said he supports the $6,000 child tax credit, and he didn't show up for the vote on the $6,000 child tax credit, right? So it's just, I'm hoping, like I think a lot of people are, for just when something really bad happens, I'm hoping that there's some sort of an about face, right? Mm-hmm. And that TYT goes, hey, they didn't do the thing that I thought they might do, so now I'm on the warpath against them too. So I hope that that's the case. We'll just have to see if that's the case. And I don't know. I don't know if I want to hold my breath on that, because I am notoriously a horrible judge of character on these things, as we already just went through. Like we just discussed the Rogan thing. I gave him credit for way too long. For Jimmy Dore, I gave him credit for way too long. For all these people. But what I would say is this. I really hope that that Cenk or Anna or both they talk to Sam Cedar or they talk to
I would love that.
John Iadarola and Francesca Fiorentini, because it really does. They seem to think, as you sort of pointed out, that anybody who disagrees with them on certain issues, it truly is just a grifter and they're a liar. And, whether it's crime issues or trans issues, they seem to think like everybody who's on the left genuinely loves crime, right? This is something I've heard from them. So it's like, I want them to talk to somebody who can rep that counter argument, who they respect enough to give them the space to make the argument, right? And I don't know if they'll do that. I'd be willing to have the conversation with them.
That'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, I would have no problem having that conversation with them.
But because the bridge is burnt for a lot of folks, like it's burnt between myself and them. But I mean, like, at least they could speak to Francesca or John or you, because like if you think that we're bad faith, that's fine. Because I've taken the gloves off. Like I'm kind of past the whole maybe we can save them. I can fix them. I don't believe that. But for the people who are still on good terms with them, I think that the fact that he's not having that conversation, and Francesca actually just said, I was watching The Vanguard, and they were playing a clip of Francesca where she tried to have a conversation between them and John, and Cenk denied it. So the fact that they're not doing that is so frustrating to me.
This idea. Oh, this is what Cenk's been going around saying now. Like, when we disagree, let's disagree. And then let's like go have a beer after, and then where we agree, let's unite. This is like his big thing that he's going around saying now. And it's like, look, I understand that, but it gets squirrely when you say that like PBD's an honest actor or Tim Pool's an honest actor. You can have a conversation with them, but you can't have a conversation with Sam Cedar, right?
Right. So, that's what is.
I mean, that's
so
just seems, and Cenk had Hassan. Cenk and Hassan did that thing on Thanksgiving, and I don't know. It just seemed like. It was sort of like hitting a brick wall a little bit, right? Like it seems like there's an impasse. And I think the point is like if all of your passion comes out and you get really like fiery and riled up, just when it's those little areas of disagreement with the left, I think that's why a lot of people are like, I don't know if I like this, because that sort of like fiery anger and passion where like you're really about it. In a moment like this, all of that anger really should be targeted at the right, Trump just won the White House. They got the Senate. They got the House. This whole Doge thing is just literal billionaire robber barons who are going to loot the Treasury and, cut your grandma's Social Security and Medicare. And it's like, we really do need to be harping away on this and going.
So he wants to go after the right. What is the point? They just won the election. Trump is in office. Go after the Green Party. Push the Green Party. Do the work. Let's ground up. If we start, not even marching. Just build the Green Party. Get people in there and start doing like, what do you call that? Like on the weekends, do fundraisers. Do when they go out and talk to people. I can't even think right now. But go do events. Like have speeches and stuff, rallies. Go do Green Party rallies. You guys, these leftist mafia, you guys need to start doing rallies for the left. Like Charlie Kirk and Turnpoint USA. Get out there, get people together. Make me famous. If I get a following, if I get people to follow me, I will go out there. I'll be in the streets. I'll get y'all together. We will do rallies, and we will plant trees in school. We will do all kinds of different projects and stuff. We will bring up projects, the community-based projects, and make stuff happen. This is what you guys need to do. You guys have a platform. You guys have money now. Put it to use.
After these people, because it's about to get really ugly really, really quickly, and we really need both basically anybody who's anywhere left of center to unite and all be in unison and all hammer away. This was the brilliance of Fox News and the right-wing media sphere, is like, so they'll have their stories for the day or the week and their talking points, and like every outlet under the sun will repeat it till the cows come home, and then they drive the narrative. They drive the entire political narrative in the country. And that's what the left is missing. That's what liberals and leftists are missing, is just in unison a media apparatus that's all harping away on the same things and steering the narrative.
I think rather than the media steering the narrative, we need more community outreach. Do rallies, do speeches, even like parties, whatever, barbecues, things like that. Bring people together. We need to do community planning and planting, like plant banana trees, apple trees, pepper plants, asparagus, anything in people's yards. We need to do gardening together. Like if your yard has a peach tree, mine might have an apple tree, then theirs has a jackfruit tree, whatever. Down the line, you got all these different fruit trees so you can all share. Not everybody needs an orange tree. You just need a couple in the neighborhood and there's a couple other trees around. But politically, why do you want to attack the right? They're going to do what they're going to do. The more you attack them, the more you just give them to say, right? Don't know. Build the Green Party. Build the left party. And the Green Party has parties, has a foothold, or not a foothold, or whatever. It has a presence in countries all over the world. If a Green Party was to win the presidency, we would have a world coalition that day, or the day they took office. But still, don't attack the left or don't attack the Democrats or the Republicans. Who cares? Build the Green Party. But they want to do some attacking and all right, so whine and cry or do something.